Alrighty, welcome to Fans of Fiction. I'm your host, Gene Skinner, and join me as always is Captain Weeb, or General Weeb, or Paladin Weeb. Any kind of way you want to call Weeb, he's got a lot of
The
titles.
Jews stole my shoes.
The bakers do. They do that. They do steal.
A Jewish dozen of shoes.
Jewish dozen of shoes. You know, I've heard before that they have a conscription with gnomes, so it makes sense they steal shoes. You know, 'cause
I hate gnomes. They stole my socks and they never gave them back. I paid for them. They're mine.
Yes. Now, before we get right into the show as we usually do, obviously there's going to be memes. There's going to be a lot of memes tonight because I put that in. The first thing I'm going to do, like I do with most shows that I usually host, is I'm going to talk about the beer I'm having tonight. I'm having a Southern Tier Mocha Imperial Stout, part of their Blackwater Stout series. They recently brought this back, 10%er. So it's got coffee and chocolate in it. So, should be good.
Well, for the butt of tonight, we have Dealer's Choice, $25. It's been aged a year. I don't know if it's good, but fuck it.
But fuck it. Now, this first video, Weeb, I put in specifically for you, so get ready for it.
Aw, how kind.
It's one chat knows, but you haven't seen this yet. Yes, yes!
From the moment I understood
No,
monkey.
Just in my flesh.
Disgusted.
Disgusted me.
I craved for strength and certainty.
Yes.
I aspired to the purity of the blessed machine.
Monkey supremacy.
Your kind cling to your flesh, as if it will not decay.
It's always so funny to look at you just leave it there.
One day the crude biomass that you call the temple will wither, and you will beg my kind to save you.
I don't like that monkey face.
But look at his eyes.
I am already saved. For the
Yes!
machine
There he is!
immortal.
Beautiful. You're welcome for that, Weeb.
Fantastic.
Goblin Mommy Being Q is this one from Ball Buddy. Here we go.
My daughter has brought home such a handsome human man. I wonder when sweating.
Gob. It says Gob instead of Mom.
Also, when you're done with my daughter, you can me.
Wow!
Wow.
By
Mom!
the gods.
Stop! You always do this. You always steal my boyfriend.
Wow.
Why can't I just have this one to myself? You're so unfair.
You need to be more sharing.
Goblins. Anyway, now let's watch G-Man plays a bunch of Barbie
Beside
games.
every kid playing with a Ninja Turtle,
Cursed
Ghostbuster,
Barbie.
Fucking
and
hell.
Power Rangers figurine in the 1990s, there'd probably be someone right next to them with a Barbie.
Oh, God.
And outside of TV shows, movies, and merchandise, it's a brand that's had its fair share of video game adaptations.
Oh,
If
no.
the recent movie's any kind of indicator, it's still as popular as ever too, and because I'm a glutton for punishment and don't have much else going on, I thought I'd
Let's
play
play
through a
some
bunch
Barbie
of these games.
games.
And see
Oh
what they're
God, a
about.
racing one, no.
I mean, there's only so many
Why?
times you can talk about chewing gum, kicking ass, and ripping and tearing, right?
Losing his mind.
I will say right up there that I'm not going to be covering every single Barbie game that ever existed. Firstly, because that's just kind of asinine, and if I did that, we'd be here for days going through everything. But secondly, because for a lot of these, they're really not all that interesting to begin with. Barbie video games in the 90s, for instance, wasn't even really that much of a scene, or even all that remarkable.
Oh no, Captain Barnacle must be nearby.
Captain
Outside
Barnacle,
of one
oh,
game
no.
in particular, Barbie Fashion Designer, which came out in 1996. And if you can believe it, this thing outsold both Doom and Quake for that year.
Wow,
This one
really?
is worth noting though, because as a result of its popularity, a lot of these earlier Barbie titles tried to tap into that same market, being a little more than just point and click dress up games. But talking about a bunch of hair, clothing, and nail styling simulators doesn't really make for interesting content. And it wasn't until the late 90s where things really started to kick off anyway.
Dude, I remember seeing those all over fucking Walmart.
In 1999 specifically, with Barbie's Race and Ride, developed by Runecraft, which is like a console-only version of a similar game
RuneScape?
named Barbie's Riding
Runecraft?
Club,
What
which
the fuck?
came out on the PC back in 98. In some ways, making this a
Oh my
spiritual
God.
sequel, which I guess makes this the System Shock and System Shock 2 of the Barbie gaming universe.
That was
God.
great. I love it here.
Now, I don't know what little girls are into these days, and unless I have a daughter anytime soon, that's probably not going to change. But I can confirm, as someone who had a little sister in the 90s, that girls back then were indeed obsessed with horses. For my
Why-
sister, it
why
was like
though?
a
I don't know.
combination
It's
of
true
horses,
though, they were. It's
glow-in-the-dark
really weird.
ceiling
Why were they
stars,
obsessed
and
with
James
horses?
Van Der Beek. So it makes
I-
sense. Like if you're going
Yeah,
to
that
make
is a
game for
great
one of the
question.
most popular home consoles at the time, it's going to be featuring Barbie and it's going to be horse themed. They even let you choose your
Horse
own outfit,
themed.
the
Horse
color of your
themed.
horse, and what its name's going to be.
Poppy.
What do they want from Poppy?
You know,
Poppy's a little
I have something
Then
for
after
you.
being taught the ropes and given the reins,
I
legally,
don't
you're
know
off on your way,
if
able to
it'll get
explore 4
claimed.
different courses
Oh,
to
okay.
find the fragments of a postcard
But it
that
is
reveals
it
the
is a
final
it's an
location
AI
of the
generated,
hidden
so it shouldn't
ranch.
get claimed.
No, it
Here's
shouldn't,
another
no.
piece for the missing postcard.
All right, then let me send it your way.
You can post it in too.
But the main
You know
thing
where
you
the
instantly
thing is.
start to notice
was.
about Race and Ride is
You're
that
gonna
it
post it
isn't
in,
even
just
really
boot
a
it up after
game, and
this.
you're not
You can watch
even
it.
really controlling the horse. Instead, it's just more like an interactive FMV where you instead just
You don't have to
press the
watch
X
all of it,
button
but
a
just
specific times to jump over
AI
something
has gone too far.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you might have to turn left or right to avoid obstacles, but most of it is just press X to jump. Along with the square button
Alright,
every
so how
like
do
10 or so
I
seconds
do
to
this
stop
again?
It's
riding
the,
and
you
check
see
out
the
something
watch
happening
together symbol
nearby.
up there?
It
Are you on
looks
mobile or
like
are you
some
on
sort
your
of game.
All right, I
Let's
think I
take
see
a
it.
closer
There we
look.
go, and
If you
then
reduce down
add
the
to
time,
playlist.
This is just
Yeah.
Barbie
Okay, there we
taking a
go.
break
Yeah.
from her busy schedule
I see
to
it. I see it right at
terrorize
the
the
bottom.
local wildlife,
I'll
hopping
move it
off
up.
her saddle and dropping
And let's
cake
put
to
it
scare
right
those
there.
innocent creatures away.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm
I'll
not even
watch it
kidding
after
too. Like
this.
these animals will just be chilling out on the side of the path, you know, minding their own business, before Big Mouth Barbie shows up and just scares them off.
Oh, how cute.
What a bitch!
Then the remaining 50% of the stops is for the abundance of minigames you need to complete, none of which you can really afford to skip either because they often contain a fragment of that postcard which reveals the location for the hidden ranch.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, that hidden ranch, which appears to be in the middle of an extremely open and flat parcel
Yeah,
of
what the
land.
fuck?
You know, which is kind of
Hidden
like the
ranch.
opposite of what hidden means. There's not even really any kind of consistency to these
What is it with that
minigames
tree?
either.
Why does
I
it
mean,
look
you're doing
eldritch
things
as
like
fuck?
collecting acorns,
Look
through
how
the
cursed that
catching
tree
fireflies
looks.
You're
in a
not
jar.
afraid,
A lot of them are
G.
just outright
no,
showing off
biblically
the front,
accurate.
like trying to find the correct
Biblically-
combination of
biblically
burrows
accurate
to get this
trees.
rabbit to the front of the
Biblically
screen,
accurate
which is just all
trees.
about
Oh, no, it's got
interacting with all
tits.
these random holes. Yeah, story of my life.
That
Tits,
was
where?
so much fun.
Hide
Choose the
them,
wrong
Porky's
hole, though,
around.
And this little asshole goes back to the top of the screen.
He's always around.
There's a match 3 minigame as well, and as a
the
colorblind
fuck?
person, I've got to say, man, I always hate seeing these in video games because I know the
Yeah,
only
well,
way to beat them
sucks
is
to
to
be
get
you,
someone to
we
help.
guys.
And I just don't think I can fully explain to you just how awkward and embarrassing it is for a 38-year-old man to ask his wife to come in the room just to help him beat a Barbie game.
No.
Great.
Oh,
Look at all the
no.
flowers.
He's 38.
At least you,
The funniest one is where you have to
At least
race
you
to
got
race,
married,
have to jump
nigga.
over
I
random
guess that's
hazards
true.
like
Good
every 2
gravy.
seconds, which is more or less this
Good
game's
gravy.
version
Like,
of the
oh,
photo
I'm-
tunnels from
oh.
Battletoads.
poor me, I have to ask my wife, you know, something you guys won't have.
These are my first attempt. But even if I was an
Guess, like,
11-year-old
damn it.
girl, like, I don't
Look,
think
shrimp.
this stuff would
There's a
really
shrimp.
fry my brain either.
Shrimp.
And as a reviewer at the time
Shrimp and
seemed to
a
point
looster.
out, it is easy to the point
Oh, I hate
that
those
it's
kind of puzzles.
kind
I
of
fucking
insulting.
hate those.
That was
I
so much
fucking hate
fun.
puzzles in general.
Once you've beat all 4 courses and
Ah!
unlocked the ranch, there's one final obstacle
What
course
the
to complete.
fuck?
Before
I
the
think I
whole
remember
thing comes
seeing
to an
this
end,
as a,
Barbie
like,
approaches a
$10
barn and
fucking
small
instant
foal
game
comes out to get fed.
At like at Walmart,
So,
right next to like the
yeah,
shitty
congrats.
Bejeweled,
Mhm.
and like the new and updated copy of fucking like
All up, the whole
what is that,
thing took
Oregon
me about
Trail.
an hour to beat,
Like
and
no one
I
buys
wouldn't say
this.
that this is
No
the
one buys
worst game
this.
to
No,
come
not
out
at
on the
all.
PS1 in
Not at all,
1999,
really.
but sure shit would have come close. But look, man, if you had a daughter who just had to play something on the PlayStation that year and she was probably a bit too young for Silent Hill, well, could have been worse.
Never too young for Silent Hill.
Great
The trauma will last
Rita.
generations.
Runecraft followed Race and Ride up with Super Sports that same year, with both games releasing.
I mean,
on
I still
par.
can't drive
However,
behind
where Race
any
and
truck
Ride
that's
was a
got
poor
something
excuse
hanging
for
off the
horse
back,
riding
even if it's
sim,
tied
while
on.
Super Sports is more akin to an actual game.
Fuck
offering
you,
up to
Final
modes here,
Destination.
either inline skating
Oh,
or snowboarding.
we've been watching those
Kind of making it
recently,
like
too.
a combination, I guess, of Tony Hawk and the Cool Border series.
I love the one that's
Yeah,
Final
that
Destination,
was
but it
so
wasn't.
cool.
Regardless of which mode you go with, though, they both start off the same. You hit
like
the
my
center,
lung.
some pocket change,
like
and
10 of
choose
those
Barbie's
fucking
outfit,
films.
followed by the skates or snowboards she's
Why,
gonna
why
use.
are there
This
10
one
movies?
rocks.
If they
Then
don't
after
make
that,
any
you drop
money,
into a
why are
sort
you
of hub area
spending
and can
it?
choose from one of 3 courses to beat. For the
So I
inline
read
skating
something
one,
the
you
other
can
day
just
that
move
had me
around all of
fucking
these
just
flat
laughing my
areas,
ass off.
collecting tickets and other items to increase
So
your score. And
Jews
once the
can't
score limit
have
for the level is
loans,
reached, it
apparently.
just
In
all
their
comes to an end.
in the Talmud or whatever, you can't have loans. So when
You can
they go
also
to get
do
a house
tricks,
loan from a
kind
bank,
of, but
Yeah.
I
they
can't really stress
restructure it
enough, you
into
just
a quote
kept
house
cracking and sliding
investment.
these up and off.
Like an
And
investment.
half the
investment
time
is
the
totally
controls
kosher.
don't even register
But
that you're
are-
trying
Like
to jump,
but
and you'll
investments
just
are pretty
slam
much
into
the same
something
thing as a
instead.
loan.
I mean, controlling Barbie here, it really
Just
does
the
feel
language
like you're
is
trying to
different.
roller skate with shopping
It's
trolleys
just
on
the
your
funniest
feet.
shit. Like
And you know, say words like
like once
awesome
per
and
year, like
radical.
like
Really,
apparently
that's
they
kind of
just put all their
devalue the
sins
power
onto a
those words
chicken
seem
and
to
just beat
have.
it to
I mean, it's like
death.
hearing your
Oh,
mum
yeah.
say it or something.
Like, oh yeah, God will never know if I said the chicken did all my crimes. Like, bro, how arrogant are you as a religion where you think your creator is not going to pick up on the goofy shit?
Which is a carnival that
Come
is the
on.
absolute embodiment
That's
of
like
the
saying,
biblical
oh, I
creed.
tricked
And here
God,
you're
so what
required
I
to do a
did
stunt off
to
every
eat meat on
rail,
Friday
jump,
was
and
I said
leap
I'm a
loop before it's
vegan,
over.
and he would
With a
never know.
low-resolution cinematic
He
being
won't
your only
he won't
reward.
find out.
Yeah, we rock.
Fuck. The Scott Pilgrim fucking vegan police coming and fucking taking all their shekels away. Bacon's eggs, bitch.
The snowboarding side of things is more or less the same.
Chicken parm's
only
not
the
vegan?
courses actually have different objectives now, and you're moving in a forward direction as
You
opposed
know how many
to
times I
across
saw
the
that movie in
screen. For
theater?
the first track, you've got to collect
Oh,
a
way
bunch
too
of
much.
purple balloons and avoid the blue ones,
Just
which
take a
subtract
guess.
points for
Just
some reason. Either way,
a
though,
random
again,
guess.
as a
Can you guess which
hopelessly
character's
colorblind
name
asshole, I can barely see the difference.
Oh
between
yeah,
these
you were
two
Gideon.
types.
Yep.
Remember, avoid those blue balloons.
Bro, too easy. Come on now.
For the second course, you're having to knock over all these snowmen placed randomly throughout the stage.
Jason Schwartzman
And then for
actually
the
does
third
look a lot
course, you've
like
got
me
to
too,
race
which is
head
funny
to
'cause
head
he's a
against
Coppola.
Barbie's best bud, Teresa. Weirdly
He's
too, in a
fucking
split
Nick's cousin.
screen mode, which just kind of seems a bit
Really?
odd considering
Yeah, he
you're
is.
racing against
Well,
the
it's
AI
fucking
of
wild.
another
Yeah.
player.
Related to Coppola.
Then again, after you've finally beaten that fourth and final course, you get another brief pre-rendered cinematic, and then
These cinematics
that's
look
it, dog.
trash,
You've
by
beaten
the way.
Barbie Super Sports.
So cool.
Bro, it is a
Overall, it's easily one of the
$15
shortest
Barbie
games in the
game.
entire video, taking me under an hour to get through.
From
And
the
I
back.
like
You were-
racing, right? There's
yeah, you're
really no
not
reason
getting
to ever play
fucking
it.
Gears of
Really?
War
I
level
know,
level
right?
goodness.
No New Game Plus mode, no infinite rocket launcher to unlock, nothing.
You bet your ass I would 100% play a Barbie game where you had a chainsaw minigun. I'm down.
You've beaten all those
I'm
main
down.
courses. And even then, like the better boards and
Dom,
the skates
what do
don't
we
seem to
do?
be all that much better anyway. I think the
Fuck.
problem is that if you compare this
Oh,
thing
hey.
to other games in the same genre,
don't know,
you
Barbie.
Tony
Shit's
Hawk and
about to get
Hawk
real.
series, it really just does look kind
Well,
of
Barbie
weird in
skateboard,
comparison.
I'm in.
And in fact, too, like one of the games that me and, more specifically my sister spent the most amount of time playing on our PlayStation 1 was Cool Borders 2.
Borders.
Which has
Yeah.
Man,
Man, I smell the
better as
90s.
far as snowboarding sims go.
Oh.
So I guess my point is, if the
It was a
snowboarding game
glorious
that's not
time,
even
Gene
targeting
Skinner.
little girls is
I
more
remember
fun
it
than the
pretty
one
well.
that's designed to actually appeal to that demographic, then why would you waste your time with the latter?
Cool. Double point.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
That was so cool.
Granted, there wasn't many, if any, roller skating games for the PS1. In fact, the only ones that even come to mind are ESPN Extreme Games and X-Blades. So the point of
X-Blades.
comparison for that skating mode isn't just low, but it's borderline non-existent. I don't know, at least the snowboarding mode has a half-decent drum and bass soundtrack, which admittedly was the style at the time.
No bunnies. Where?
The style of the time. Jack.
Get it, Jack. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
get it.
only it had a bit of Offspring or Goldfinger, well, it might have at least been somewhat redeemable.
Oh, Goldfinger.
Radical.
Next up, we're in the year 2000 with another Runecraft banger in Detective Barbie and the Mystery
Runecraft.
Cruise.
Welcome to Detective Barbie.
And what I didn't realize until I beat this one is that it's actually
sure
the
this
third
guy's
game in the
FBI agent
series.
has a lot of
You got
questions.
The Mystery of the
Yeah.
Carnival Caper in
Why are you playing
1998,
Barbie
and then
games?
Barbie's The Mystery of Who Clogged Up the Shitter that came out in 1999.
How is Barbie going to bring about the
The
Fourth
story is that
Reich?
Barbie's investigating the theft of some expensive artworks on a cruise ship, which honestly isn't as overwhelming as it sounds, considering that there's only about half a dozen people on the ship to begin with, Barbie included. And even then, the only actual suspects are the ship's captain, an actress, and the ship's entertainer. Yeah,
It's the
so
actress.
3 people.
If only I had the money, I could pay someone to write new songs for me.
Guilty as charged.
It's the guy.
Anyway, first you need to find the 3 stolen artworks, which are all hidden away on 3 nearby islands,
Here it is. We found the stolen mask.
and then scan the fingerprints on each of them to finally get a match for one of the suspects, like a regular old Sherlock Holmes. But this one is kind of unique, if only for its fixed camera
Mr.
perspective,
Cripple,
which is reminiscent
you never
of a lot of older
suspect the man in the
survival horror games from
wheelchair.
that same
No,
era.
he
I mean,
never
keep in
do
mind that Resident Evil 3 had only come out 1 year prior.
Check under his
And it's
ass
not to
cheeks.
say
He's
on a
hide.
side
They,
note
that's
that
what
I
they
would
like to
totally
hide
play a
things.
Barbie-themed survival horror game
They
set.
think we don't know, but I
But
know.
compared to the Resident Evil games, this is a whole
That's
lot
actually really
simpler,
funny
and
that
you
you
really
mentioned
just
that
spend
because
most
there
of the
was a,
time here
like,
walking
police
from
cameo
room
in
to
Never
room,
Watched a few
or
days
standing
ago,
in one place
where
and
this guy
talking to
just kept,
someone
like,
over
really
and
being
over.
aggressive and being
There's always
aggressive by the
something to
cops.
be done
Like,
on
why are you
board
trying to touch
ship.
me there and everything?
Plus, they've
He was
also
hiding a gun
shoehorned in
between
a
his
bunch of
booty
mini
cheeks.
games because we know
Literally,
how much these
hiding a
Barbie
gun between
titles
his
love
booty
their
cheeks.
goddamn mini games.
Smart call.
Like playing shuffleboard,
If they
for
start going
instance.
for your ass, you just be like, "What are you,
Along
homosexual?"
with these various others that you need to complete before
Why are you
finding
trying to
each
cut my
artwork,
balls,
including,
sir?
Yes, yet
They're
again,
mine.
another one that
Let's just say he
discriminates
was of
against
the,
me
Kang
and my fellow
persuasion.
color-identifying challenged brethren.
Good job, Barbie.
I mean, goddamn,
They
son, at
always
this
are.
point, isn't it just all but confirmed that Mattel hates colorblind people?
Yeah,
Oh, so he's
we
Yeah.
know.
colorblind?
There's
Oh,
also
Yes.
the single worst
The
jet ski
colorblind.
minigame that ever existed, where you race against Teresa, big surprise.
Embarrass them
who drives
every
like an
day.
absolute fucking maniac.
If you're colorblind, Chad, I'm sorry, but
There's no wave
come on,
race
kind of
64, let's
cringe,
just
little
put it that way.
cringe, little cringy, buddy.
Along with this weird flying minigame where you avoid jets of air
See
and
Robin,
fly through rings to
Jurassic
gain
Bob,
speed,
Nathan,
which
Jenny,
again
like I said
is a good
before.
showcase for the AI being a goddamn
you were the
cheat.
first one.
Yeah, this is the best.
About the only purpose either of these serve is for the finale, because once you figured out who the suspect is, which
That's like- yeah,
seems
oh.
to be
Did you know Tree Master
generated,
Bob and I
you've
served
got to
together
chase
in
after them
Vietnam?
on a
I
jet
didn't
ski,
know that,
like at
but
the end
now
of
I do.
Police
Yeah.
Academy 3.
Nah, everyone knew him as
Holy
Butcher
shit.
Bob.
Followed by them chasing after them in the air, like
I
at
used
the
to
end of
stack up
Police
VC like
Academy 4.
Jenga.
Before
It was
Barbie
fu- it was-
finally catches
yeah,
them
no,
on
it was
one of the
great.
nearby islands, and I can't help but find this absolutely
Did you watch the
hilarious
new,
that someone
Nerd
would
Crew
ever
by
run away
fucking,
from her to
Red
begin
Letter
with.
Media?
I mean, I think having an empty plastic
no, I
bag
have
caught
not.
in the
It's
wind
really
coming
funny.
after you would be more menacing. I mean, it's not
The
like
pork
she's
you
going
put
to
it on
start
yesterday was really, really
discombobulating the
funny.
suspect as they run away, is it?
Rich is in his car. He's just got like this fucking sign that says, "Please help, Vietnam vet."
Either way, though, this case
Homeless
ain't exactly
Vietnam
the
vet, please
final
help.
problem.
Fucking
And
A.
like the couple of games before it, the
He's got,
whole
like, a
thing
bunch of
only
trees
Ah, I
turned out
just
in our
crippled
get-go.
Bobby,
I mean,
my
there might be some
favorite.
value in replaying this
But you
with
gotta
different
pay $5
suspects,
for the
but
wheelchair.
The outcome seems to be the
That's
same
kind
either
of
way,
bullshit. She
so
can't walk. I'm
imagine
getting
why
half a
they
dollar as it is.
Oh, now that was awesome.
Right,
Way
so
to-
once
way to
again, we're back in the
fucking,
hands
like-
of Runecraft with Barbie Explorer,
Like, turned into a
released in
statue there, Barbie.
2001,
What was
which is
that?
kind of like a combination of Crash Bandicoot and Tomb Raider. And this was actually the only one
Thank
I'd
you for
heard
your
of before
service,
making
Bob.
this video. With a lot of people always going on about how hard it is, which is something you don't really expect to hear anyone say when talking about Barbie games. I will say,
It's a
though,
fucking
that first
platformer
impressions are
Barbie game.
pretty good.
Porky,
There's a
what do you
nice
mean
little
thank you for your
cinematic of
service?
the
I
game
saw you in the
mode
draft
where Barbie's
dodger line,
escaping with
motherfucker.
Some kind of artifact that probably belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
There's even a minecart chase across rickety rails in a
Bob and I were
shaft.
up getting on
I
a
mean,
flight to Vietnam. I saw him
stuff,
getting on a
man.
flight to Canada. Traitor.
And then that
Jane
font on the
Fonda.
main menu is
Jane
so
Fonda.
blatant
Porky
that it just
Fonda.
can't help but
Porky
get a chuckle out of it. Starting a new game, we learn that the story is that Barbie has to find 4 artifacts to unlock an ancient mirror. Yeah, a mirror? I'm
God damn
surprised
it,
wasn't
Indiana
just an
Jones
ancient
Barbie.
handbag.
Yeah.
Anyway, to do this, she needs to explore 4 different areas: the African jungle, Tibet,
I'm gonna eat
Egypt,
my
and then
quarter
finally
pounder with a
Babylon,
side of
with each
freedom fries
location being
because of
comprised
Bob.
of 3 separate stages and then a boss encounter. And it's easy to see once you start playing how you can easily compare this one to Crash Bandicoot and Tomb Raider. I mean, the whole premise of just running up the screen in more or less a single direction,
Where's the fucking
timing
gun?
jumps over
If it's
pits
Tomb Raider,
and
where's the
getting across
gun?
moving platforms is very similar.
The
to
gun
many
is her love and
world-type
affection
stories.
towards
Oh, hey,
mankind.
Crash. Crash Bandicoot. Fun game.
Even just the backdrop is kind of similar
First
too.
three
With
games
a lot
are
of these
fun.
levels in the jungles
Crash.
looking like that could be something taken right out of the first game.
Did you hear they
Then the
arrested
Tomb Raider
Hootie?
aspect comes in when you get to some
Hootie?
of those more challenging platform
Yes,
sections, which
from the
really do
Blowfish.
require these
Oh,
perfectly
really?
coordinated jumps.
Yeah, Darius
You hold
Rucker
the
got
R1
arrested
button
for,
down,
I
Barbie
think, drink
walks as
driving.
opposed to
Oh, he
running,
was,
which
drunk
prevents
driving,
you from
damn.
falling off the edge.
Yeah.
And this
You
becomes
and
essential during
me, we
certain
come
areas
from
where
other
they really seem
worlds.
to have taken sadistic glee in creating these really frustrating
Fuck, dude,
obstacles.
that would be funny as
Obstacle
hell.
really
Officer
being
pulls
the
you
key
over.
word here, because let me tell you,
Bro, are
this
you
game
Hootie?
does
Yeah,
not
are you? Hey,
fuck
bro, you
around.
Hootie? I
And
love
by
your
the
band.
second level, you
Why
have to
you
get
fucking
past some really
blasted,
tough
though?
sections. Like this bit here, where you got
Darius Rucker, listen, alright, just stop country music, come back to Hootie.
If
You give me an album, I'll get you off the ticket.
The main menu offers up this really weird VR training
fuck?
mode
fuck?
which almost seems out of place.
What
but
the
you may actually
fuck?
want to pay attention here because you will genuinely need to know about all these mechanics.
I don't think I'll ever need to know shit about a Barbie game there, Mr. Guy.
Touching anything or falling
Call me
off
crazy,
legs is
it's
gonna
never gonna come up.
kill you, which means that over time, those lives are going to drop off pretty damn quick. Power-ups don't exactly help you out either. In fact, I think the running shoes is someone's idea of a joke, pretty much turning you into Sonic the goddamn Hedgehog. Scattered throughout each level is all this abundance of gems to collect, though what these actually do, I've got no idea. Outside of, I think, just feeding to someone's need to be a completionist. Weirdly too, I found the bosses to be the easiest part of the game. The first boss, for instance, is a giant snake.
Why did it have to be snakes?
And about all you have to do here is jump over its body as you make your way towards the head to grab the first artifact.
Congratulations, you completed the level.
But compared to
That
what
was
you've
so
just had to do in the prior
fucking
levels, jumping over a snake's body
Congratulations.
is like playing hopscotch in
They paid me
comparison.
$20 for this.
Very dangerous.
Tibet, I definitely found to be the hardest area in the game.
Tibet.
Now, this sees Barbie donning her winter coat and matching thermal underwear and braving some harsh and icy environments to find the second artifact. And some of these areas are
that's
just
dope.
brutal.
That
Not
was
only
dope.
requiring perfect accuracy with your jumps, but also perfect timing, as you got to get across these multiple moving platforms and almost really start to think a couple of steps ahead. Or this bit here, having to jump across this very clearly Crash Bandicoot-inspired wooden bridge, whilst also
I love
avoiding
Crash
incoming
Bandicoot.
birds that are able to push
Did.
you off the edge.
Now it's all just like fucking, what, Skyland or whatever? Like what
And
Spyro,
it's like
it's all
they
owned by the
genuinely
same
looked
people.
at Road to Nowhere in Crash
Maybe.
1 and asked,
I don't
how
remember
can
now.
we make that even
Spyro
worse?
turned into that. Spyro turned into fucking Neopets.
Jack and Daxter turned into
The boss for
ass.
this chapter
Yes,
is a
yes,
Yeti
it
who
did.
throws snowballs, which overall is a piece of piss.
That was my
I mean, you might
fucking
die a couple
jam,
of
dude.
times learning the
Jack and
buttons,
Daxter
but
1.
That's about it.
Oh my, dude, it's
Don't
too
know
many
if it
hours.
was actually easier or I'd just become better at
And
the
now
game,
it's
but
ass.
either way, I found this
And
area
now
a lot
it's
easier
just
to get through.
ass.
The only real pain in my
Story
plastic
of my
ass was
life,
all of
Gene
these little
Skinner.
tornadoes blocking my
Things
path all
turned
the time
ass.
that I couldn't help notice looked like
Everything I love turns to ass, and not the good kind.
Actual invention.
And I also thought too that a lot of these levels looked
That
halfway
mean-
decent, which is actually one thing worth praising. Because outside of the animations and the controls, which, let's be honest, are pretty substandard, the overall presentation isn't that bad for a PS1 game. There's a bit later on when you're inside a pyramid and you have to find the right path across this pit, which kind of feels like a flat-out homage to the Word of God scene from The Last
Homage.
Crusade. So I really do think that some praise is earned here just for the variety between all of these chapters, especially for the bosses. Oh yeah, and speaking of, for the boss encounter for the third area, you're being chased by a very slowly moving alligator and have to make your way downriver, which is again so easy in comparison to the previous levels that it's almost baffling. Having said all that though, they saved the absolute worst for last, with the final few stages in Babylon. Now the first one has you moving upriver, jumping across lily pads and floating turtles, which, yeah, I'm sure again in no way was inspired by Crash Bandicoot. For the level after this, Barbie's going to spend most of it on her ass, which she's probably used to, moving down river on a raft, which isn't so much hard as it is just needlessly long and drawn out. Not to mention, I also had a potentially game-ending bug here during this bit where
What
the
the
raft
fuck is
physics
going on the
just
raft?
completely shat themselves.
Look at that weeb.
That is,
Eventually, though,
that
I
is,
made it to
that
the
is
final boss,
fucked.
which is like a
giant
terrifying
What the
version
fuck?
of Audrey 2 from the Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh.
And after
Audrey
avoiding a
2.
bunch of Venus flytraps, which, again, totally not Crash Bandicoot inspired,
not.
and slipping past
Totally not.
Audrey 2, Barbie gets that final artifact. The ending cinematic has her going all Raiders of the Lost Ark before making her escape, only for it to then cut back to the museum as she unlocks the ancient mirror. Just in time for the game to come to an end with a cliffhanger.
Hey! This is bullshit!
Yeah,
Bullshit.
a goddamn cliffhanger with a to-be-continued message. I don't know, I guess someone was really banking on this being an ongoing series. Except, as we now know, it wasn't, and they never made another Barbie game like this
Wow.
ever again. Which is a bit of a shame, because the only issue I think this one has is that for something that's really targeted at little girls, it really is kind of needlessly difficult. I mean, look, that's not to say that girls aren't able to beat these kind of games, but if you put Barbie in the title or something, well, you'd expect there to be some degree of lenience when it comes to the challenge.
You would think, but
I mean,
no.
half the time the game got so challenging that I
can't
thought I
have
might have
that. No
accidentally started
lenience,
playing
just
Dark
hard
Souls
as
and
hell.
not realised.
Dark Souls
And
Barbie.
even as a guy who's beaten every Crash Bandicoot game and spent way too much time looking at Lara's ass, I'm not ashamed to admit that this thing really
Based.
put me to the test. But you want to know what sure as hell didn't help this thing either? Well, how about the fact that by the year 2001, the PlayStation was basically redundant due to the existence of the PS2.
PS2, yeah.
Never mind that it had already launched a year prior. But on the PS2 alone, just that year, we had Silent Hill 2, GTA 3, and Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh,
so
GTA
for a Crash
3.
Bandicoot and Tomb Raider inspired clone to come out on what was quickly becoming dated hardware, well, it sure didn't help its chances.
You can count on me, Professor. As of today, I'm reporting as Barbie.
reporting as
World-class
Speaking of swan songs, the last game that came out for the PS1 was Barbie's Gotta Have Games in 2002,
Barbie's
which,
Gotta
funnily
Have
enough,
Games.
was actually developed by DICE Canada.
Press start to check out the games we can play in the city.
Yeah, man, the same DICE Canada who worked on a couple of expansions for Battlefield. And in fact, the very
really?
next game they made after this was Battlefield Vietnam.
What
That,
the
however,
fuck?
is really about the
What the
only
fuck?
interesting thing that this one has going for it, and there's really not much to say
The
here,
company that made
considering
this
it's
made, like,
entirely
Battlefield
comprised of a
expansions? What
bunch
the
of
fuck?
mini games you'll probably beat
think
in
my
a matter
mind's
of
broke,
minutes.
Weeb.
Like this one, which has got to be the world's shittiest
What do you
bubble
think?
bobble clone.
That
Gave us some space.
you know what? Fuck
This
it, bro.
one, which
If
is a conga line
Make your
simulator,
money.
Not to mention an outright rip-off of Snake 2.
Snake
And while that
2.
might not sound familiar to most people these days, to anyone like me who grew up with an old Nokia phone in the early 2000s, that right there, man, is downright nostalgic. Overall, I could see this one being a bit of a hoot at a sleepover. You know, before everyone started watching Dawson's Creek or Party of Five. But it's otherwise a bit of a depressing
with Dawson's
departure
Creek?
for Barbie's tenure throughout the 5th gen.
the
Nice
fuck
one.
is wrong with Dawson's Creek, sir?
But what followed
Well,
after
what
this
about
was
Party of
actually quite
Five?
surprising, with some decent titles
I don't give
coming
a
out
fuck
on the
about
kids
Party of
too,
Five.
with Wild Horse Rescue, The 12 Dancing
I didn't watch
Princesses,
Party of
and
Five.
Red Riding Camp. Yeah, 2 more horse-themed games, man. And I swear that Barbie spends more time around horses than Lara Croft.
I understood that reference.
Now, Wild Horse Rescue was developed by Blitz Games and released in 2003 for the PS2 and the Xbox. And
Jack
true to
and
its
Dexter is
namesake,
getting
it's
a
about
Neil
rescuing
Druckmann
wild horses.
reboot? Oh,
in a lot of
boy.
ways, too, this is really
Where
just
Jack
an
gets
updated version of
pegged
Race and
by a
Ride.
steroid
Again, taking
Shrek
place across
woman,
3 different looking locations, the
mocapped by
forest,
Druckmann
one in the
himself.
snow, and then one finally
Welcome
on the
to
beach,
2024,
with there being
Naughty
3
Dog.
courses now for each area. The other difference, though, is that
Wow,
you
true,
actually
Mr.
get to
Bob.
freely control the horse.
I don't think any of that
instead
is
just
true,
pressing
but
the
that's
jump
funny
button
that
to
you just
avoid
say that like
obstacles.
that.
And instead of just making your way to the finish line, you're also rescuing foals and other horses that have escaped from the ranch.
I just
Don't be
go back to
afraid.
read that.
It's afraid. It's afraid!
Which again means that you're having to frequently stop and hop off your horse to interact with these things, leading them back to a safe spot so they can be picked up later on. And this ranges from just simply leading them back by the reins to having to avoid life-threatening hazards like rolling logs and boulders,
Great job.
Logs
we got
and
past
boulders.
log.
along with avoiding the incredibly hostile local wildlife like raccoons, skunks, and even turtles, which I guess is
Fucking
kind
turtles.
of educational in a way, because I had no idea that these critters were so goddamn aggressive in real life.
Gotcha, bitch!
Then each of these courses ends with Barbie having to either wrangle a horse that tries to gallop away or race off against one of her buddies.
Go!
The main issue I have with this one though is that it is just so agonizingly slow to play through. Controlling the horse is just really clunky, and if you hit so much as a twig on the ground, then the horse rears up and comes to a complete stop. Hopping on and off the horse is also painfully tedious, and Barbie's movement speed could be best described as a light jog. So running around and collecting all the abundance of coins and chests takes even longer than it really should.
Wow, look at her speed. She's like a fucking snail.
It's okay.
Not to mention it's just a really boring and repetitive loop, saving the same brain-dead foals over and over. I mean, you got to consider that there's 6 of them per course, and then 3
What's up,
courses
Bobcat?
per location, with 3 locations all up, so that makes it 54 of these things you've got to slowly lead to safety.
Here you go. We should get this foal to a safe point.
And I hate the fact too that I'm one of those people with OCD who just has to go around collecting every single coin and pick up in the map. I guess on a positive note, visually it doesn't look too bad though, and it does have a decent amount of variety between each of these courses. I'm not sure what engine it actually runs on, but if I could wager a guess, I'd say it's the Renderware engine, only because it does have that kind of familiar look to it. And I mean, it's not going to compete with the likes of Project Gotham Racing 2, but I mean, look man, as a
Gotham
kid's
Racing
game,
2.
it serves its purpose. I gotta say though that I do think it was a weird creative decision to make the final unlockable area in the game be set in the ancient hidden city of Ryla, and I genuinely didn't see that Lovecraftian twist coming. It is kind of weird too how this thing got absolutely shat on by reviewers at the time. I mean, Morgan Webb, for instance, even gave this thing a 1 out of 5, calling it the worst game ever made, which is kind of insulting. I mean, yeah, it's pretty crappy, but it's not the worst game ever made. It's not even the worst game of 2003. Then again, that was the year that the critics also said Evil Dead Fistful of Boomstick was a bad game. So, yeah, that shows how much those idiots actually know.
There.
The thing is that more or less everything that Wild Horse Rescue does, Riding Camp would eventually build upon and improve. But I mean, for kids who were into horses in 2003, this wasn't your worst option.
Great job, Barbie! You won the race!
Gotcha, bitch!
12 Dancing Princesses dropped in 2006, developed by Blue Monkey Studios, as a tie-in for the film of the same name. The story for this one is you're playing as Genevieve, one of the 12 princess daughters of King Randolph, a guy who seems dead set on trying to beat Nick Cannon's
What the
record,
fuck?
and honestly someone who should really look at investing in some rubbers for the bedside table. Anyway, turns out King Randolph is really sick and he won't wake up, probably from having a dozen fucking kids. But luckily, Genevieve opens a portal to some kind of magical land where her and the sisters all depart to find an elixir they hope's going to cure their father's condition. That condition being a throbbing fucking erection. Alright, I'm done. A plot which, as far as I can tell, is more or less spot on to the film. And in the game's defense, along with staying faithful to the movie, it actually doesn't look too bad. Showing off some really colourful and vibrant environments with the modelling for all the various characters being really detailed.
Let's keep moving. We have to save the king.
It's kind of hilarious to me as well that this thing runs on the Renderware engine, and I know that this engine's been put to work more than your mum is at a frat party. It's just kind of funny to think that the same engine that powered titles like GTA 3 and Manhunt is also being used on a Barbie game. The CGI during the cinematics, though, is oddly kind of detailed,
stay mad, ho.
and does have the detriment of some truly terrifying lip-syncing.
Such a shame that Cousin Rowena has ruined this happy place for us.
Along with all the various characters having
what a
these tiny
bitch.
dolphins
Let's kill her.
and these truly nightmare-inducing
I sure do love Uncanny
Genevieve,
Valley.
for instance, has the cold, dead eyes of a killer, and the younger girls look like their heads are about to start spinning at any moment.
Come and play with us, Daddy.
How's the gameplay, though? Well, I'm
Kill
so
it.
glad you asked.
Kill it
12
with
Dancing
fire.
Princesses is more or less a platformer. Though having said that, Genevieve's jump height is absolutely pathetic, and I've seen legless, arthritic elderly people get off the ground better than she can. Isn't really going to matter either way though, because if you ever fall off a ledge or, God forbid, into any pools of ankle-high water, you instantly just respawn back on the nearest ledge.
Oops, we
Oh, God.
jumped too early.
Throughout the game, well, there are all these sisters, with there being 3 in each area.
We jumped
And it
too
becomes
early,
this familiar
retard!
loop of going into an area, finding 3 keys to unlock
You
gates,
fucking
behind
idiot.
which you'll find one of the siblings. Throughout the levels, there's also an abundance of items lying around.
Oh, okay,
but
Barbie,
again,
you know,
like
fair
Barbie
enough. Good
and
point.
Cora, the
Plastic
purpose of
shit.
these, I've got no idea.
Let's keep searching.
And honestly, it seems
Come
like
play
they
with us,
only
Gene.
exist to prey
No.
on my anxiety.
Forever and
Because almost
ever and
constantly
ever.
having to watch
No.
out for monkeys that slide down on vines.
I'll
and
go
steal
filter
them,
your
often
fits
from
if you don't
right
play
in
the
front of
game.
them.
That's what I'm saying.
New emblem.
The fact you can hear these things
Man,
chittering
that's
about
some-
almost constantly
that's
always
some
had me on edge,
obviously,
and you
you
just
know,
know that some
like a
asshole
filter
level
fish.
designer had a good laugh here,
Certainly.
working these things into the gameplay.
Very Norwegian.
Anyway,
while
once
also
you
being
find one of the
very
princesses,
Baker.
you've then got to beat an easily beatable minigame, and a lot of these minigames
Who
are
likes
frequently
fish
reused
pudding?
as well. Like
That's
this
pretty
one
much what
here, where you have to
gefilte fish
create
is.
some kind of
Porky.
sequence for a light show.
You're doing a great job.
Ludafisk
Or
too.
this one, where
I've
you've
seen
got
him
to
eat
time
it.
D-pad inputs to the music like you're playing.
I live
Dance
outside
Dance
of his
Revolution.
windowsill. I know what he's doing. I don't think playing DDR right
Another
now,
one is
Porky's a
literally
good
just
idea, but if that
columns.
helps
So,
you watch
yeah,
the stream.
Another match 3 color-based sequence. And you know what? At this point, I'm so over this colorblind stuff that I'm not even going to say it. Even though I
Get
just did.
fucking dabbed on, colorblind
Alright.
dude.
Now,
Goodness,
if
I don't
you
want.
beat each of these, you have to
We don't
choreograph
care,
a
you
dance
can't see
routine for each
colors.
Princess, because only through the power of love and badly choreographed dancing can they save their father, or I don't know, something like that. Who gives a shit?
You're going to make a wonderful dance show.
And this plays out the same way each time. You choose a bunch of preset dance moves and then just have to wait the whole thing out while the princess performs it in front of you. All 12 times.
All right. Great show.
Shut up!
And you know what this reminds me of? It's like when someone else's kid comes up to you at like a party, all excited, wanting to show you something really lame that they've just learned. So you just kind of have to sit there smiling at them so you don't hurt their feelings. That's what this feels like.
You look so happy while you're dancing, Isla.
I will give this
No
thing
one's
credit
happy.
in one way,
I'm
though,
not
and
happy.
that it is a game, like an actual game with a start.
I'm never
and end.
happy.
And more than that, though, as a movie tie-in, it seems to be pretty
This is
faithful.
oh, right, it's a
I mean, look, I'm not
movie,
about to go off
it's
and
a
watch the
Barbie
movie
movie.
itself. I'd rather use my asshole as an
Where's
ashtray,
ugly
but
Bobby?
it does seem to be
And
actually
crippled
generally quite
Bobby?
endearing
And
as a
trans
film.
Bobby?
So if it gives
I
you a
can't
movie
play
and
it. I'm not
reenact that same
represented.
plot
We don't talk
themselves,
about fat
well,
Bobby.
what
She
if
can
the
try to
wish
say
ended
she's
that
big
plot
boned,
had
but
to
we all
involve
know
watching
she's
20 minutes
obese.
of people dancing.
Thank you, Genevieve. Dancing is so much fun.
Kill it.
This brings us on to the final.
I mean,
game
all right,
in the
never
Horse
mind.
Adventure series
Nigga got
with
moves.
Barbie riding camera
Already got
released in
moves.
2008 and developed by Pixel Tales.
What is with the horses?
Horse Adventures.
And there's actually two versions for
There
this
needs to-
one on the PS2, and then another one for
Women
the
need to
Nintendo
explain
Wii.
this immediately.
Having played
Why?
both,
What
and
is with the
outside of Digital
horses?
Foundry doing a 90-minute long expose over which one
We
is
had
truly
like
the best.
what was it?
something
Toy?
which I would
What was
totally
that
watch, by
Plastic
the way.
Soldier game that
PlayStation
came
2
out
version
in the
is the one
90s
that-
for
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
N64?
about.
Yes,
What is that
I
game
think
called?
this works.
That game was
Right,
fun
so
as
the story this
hell.
time
Maybe
is
it was
that Barbie's
called, like,
come to this
Army or
island
something
in the
like
middle
that?
of
I don't
nowhere to
remember.
learn how to ride horses.
don't remember.
Only the island's just
I
been hit by
never
some
met.
storms,
I bought
so to
both
work
of those
her way through the ranks
bitches.
and
I played the
graduate from
just
riding
absolute
camp,
shit
Barbie
out of
has to
them.
complete challenges
Did you
and
ever play the
missions
Star?
to help out all
Did
these
you ever
folks
play
who
the
live on the
StarCraft
island.
64?
Are you ready to get started?
And what instantly stuck out to me about this one is
Come on
the
now.
map design, because
Come on
Riding
now.
Camp is more or less an
Yes, I
open world
mean, obviously
sandbox
you
that
have.
you're free to explore.
I
In fact, as soon as you get your
had, like,
first
no
horse
idea
and
what I was
past
doing
that
until I played the
agonizingly
Zerg,
slow
and I
tutorial, you
murdered
can
everything,
check out
and
the
they all
island at your
died.
own
Everything
pace.
was dead.
Controlling the
I
horse
think
is
Yeah.
tricky at
fucking
first
units
to
and
move
kind
your
of
horse
even
to
lagged
speed
the
up with
game.
the
It was
R1
fun.
button and then slow it down.
And
or
then
stop
later
it
on in
with
life, when you
L1,
found you were
but
related to
it
bug
quickly
people,
becomes second
you were
nature,
like, "This
and
is
the controls are
perfect."
responsive and mostly
I couldn't ask for
smooth.
anything better.
This is my life.
You can choose different outfits
It's
for Barbie to
my
wear, along with
life.
If it's
changing
not
your
bug
horse's
people,
saddle.
it's
But more than
lizard
that,
people,
groom it
it's,
and keep it energized with food
the
and
deep.
water, proving that you
It's all
can
there,
indeed lead a horse
really.
to water and make it drink.
There you are. Nice clean water.
There's even collectible items to be found in the environment and a whole night and day cycle going on as well. So it's definitely kind of odd to be playing an open world game like this in the Barbie universe of all things.
This
In fact, I've
mo-
got to be
this,
honest,
movie.
half the
This is
time I
actually-
forgot
but
what
the
game it
video
was and
itself
thought I'd
actually has been
accidentally
moving
put in
faster
Red
than
Dead
I thought
Redemption
it
2
would.
by
I even
mistake.
speed it up. We're at like 30 minutes. It's a 42-minute video. It doesn't feel like it's a 42-minute video though.
Running around
Oh,
the game world
speak
also
for
kinda
yourself.
reminds me of playing
This
Elder
felt
Scrolls
like 5
Oblivion, but it was
hours.
on the lowest graphical
Well, you're
setting. And also a lot
Of
like
Barbie.
those missions in GTA San Andreas before you got to
And not
see
even like
Piero.
one courtesy
Again, probably
titty.
not the worst
No
comparison
courtesy.
considering this is yet another
No
Barbie
respect.
game
They
that
don't
uses
even
the
show the
renderer engine.
titties.
The
That's
plastic
one
titties.
bunch
How
of
am I
carrots.
supposed to play the
ultimate
Barbie
end
game
goal
if I
here
don't
is to
see the
get 5
tits?
ribbons in total, unlocking better horses along
That's
the
it.
way by completing a series
You're gonna
of
have
more
to get
challenging
smoked.
courses, starting with just riding in a circle before eventually going full-on cross-country, avoiding fallen trees and jumping over barricades. The horses all have different stats for things like stamina, speed, and agility. Not that it really matters, because most of these challenges are more or less unfailable. Side missions then fill out the rest of the content, like helping some poor kid find his lost boat,
My boat! My boat!
collecting
My
seashells
boat!
by the seashore, or
My
helping some old
brand!
lady find her
My
cat that's
brand.
gotten stuck up a tree, which I have to say is pretty realistic, because, you know, cats are dumb and do dumb shit, like get stuck up trees.
Well, they climb, they can climb down. They can
little
always
one.
climb down.
I really appreciate, though,
Cats
one of
like
the
high
developers
places,
being
they like to
smart
feel
enough
tall.
to make it so you can interact with NPCs without
But I
having
wouldn't
to get off your
underestimate
horse.
cats, because
and that
if you
might
do,
not
you're gonna
sound
end
like
up
much
in
of a
like
big
somewhere
deal,
of, like,
but consider the
Indonesia or
alternative,
somewhere in Asia,
which would be having to
somewhere, right?
dismount and mount
And then they're
again
gonna
every
fucking
30
run up an
seconds.
elephant and kill you.
If you ever get lost or
That's what
just want to
tigers do.
quickly get back
They
to
will
the main
literally go
stable,
up
you
a
can
fucking
even fast
elephant,
travel and
jump
beat her in
past
an
it to
instant,
kill
which is,
you.
again,
Isn't that
another
fun?
pretty solid quality of life.
that's great.
inclusion.
What a beautiful new
Fuck
morning.
the elephant.
And
I
because
see the
it's a
human
kids
on top.
game,
He's
if
the
you ever
easy
fall
prey.
off a cliff, either accidentally or on purpose, you'll be instantly teleported back to stable ground, none the worse for wear.
Close call.
It just shows that some sense of thought and consideration for actual gameplay mechanics was included here. The only thing this one had going against it is that it came out in 2008. And look, I don't know how up to date you are with your console launch dates, but let me refresh your memory and remind you that the PS3 came out in late 2006, which is yet again another problem a lot of these titles had, you know, just being 1 or 2 years later than they really should have been. Either way though, this is easily one of the best Barbie games ever made, and a good 3 or 4 hours long too, providing really a lot of good value.
Okay, your
It's a
hooks
good
are all
value
good now.
Barbie
And if you
game.
put a gun to my head or a Venus flytrap
Great
to my
value,
nutsack
some
and
might
told me
say.
to play through it from start to finish,
Some
well,
might say
could
trash.
be worse. I mean, you could have asked me to play through.
I would
Red Dead
say
again.
cringe.
Now, the final
What do
thing
I
I'm going to
know?
be talking about
Oh,
is some
God.
of the titles that got released on the Nintendo Wii,
Oh,
which
this is
isn't
on
going to
the
be
Wii?
super long, if only for the simple reason that a lot of them really aren't that fascinating. Like Barbie's Groom and Glam Pups released in 2010, which isn't even really
I don't
a
think
Barbie
you ought to
game,
say
it's more
Barbie
like a
Grooms.
glorified
That's not a good
Tamagotchi.
idea
This is
game.
one where you adopt a dog and then
Just
dress
saying.
it up, train
Not
it to
a-
do tricks and
I wouldn't
groom it
recommend
before
her.
sending it off to earn cash like a little whore. Fuck. You can unlock new breeds and more outfits, but it's really just the
Fucking
same
hell.
3 modes repeated over and over. And I can't imagine how
Look at that
anyone would
fucking
want to play
dog.
this for more than like 30
One had
minutes.
sunglasses on.
Barbie's
wanna
Jet
punch
Set
it.
and Style from 2011 is more of the same, only this time you're a stylist, cutting human hair instead of dog hair. All whilst jet setting to the kind of cities that sound glamorous on paper, but in actuality
Look at
are
that fucking
total
hair.
shitholes. Like Paris, for instance.
Oh,
Paris,
Like in
yes, a
2012
shithole, I agree.
sucked. The whole
Yes.
place smelled like cigarettes and unwashed hair.
That's so vogue.
I'd say that it
So
feels like it
vogue.
could have been an expansion pack
Scared the
for
shit
The
out of me,
Sims
Sash. I
3,
thought you were
but
jumping up the
honestly,
other way.
that's an insult to The Sims 3 expansion packs.
How pretty.
Okay.
The only real proper game that Nintendo Wii had was Barbie and the Three Musketeers, based on the critically acclaimed film of the same name, which was in turn based off the famous 19th century novel, which in turn was also based off the Charlie Sheen film Hot Shots 2.
Hot Shots 2.
Now I will
Saddam
kill you
Hussein.
until you die for it.
But this one is even more interesting
Get him.
because it was developed by WayForward
that
Technologies.
super
You got
who
the
worked on
tiger
Shanty
blood.
series and the recent River City Girls, both known for their
Oh, God.
female-centric characters, 2D gameplay, and colourful art style. And you'd hardly know this even came from the same developers.
Oh,
if
they're
all
the
you
same people
saw
that
was
made
that
those
misleading
games? That's
box
funny.
art, which only shows off these
hell.
pre-rendered 3D
Hey, look,
images.
sometimes
when
you
in
gotta make
actuality,
money,
this
right?
is a
And when you're
2D
in earlier
platformer, and to be
studio,
honest, a pretty damn
you gotta
good
do
one.
No,
something.
And
I
know
take
that
it
might be more
back.
entertaining for
Sometimes
me to say
money
that
is
I'd rather
not
eat the
worth
rotten
it.
asshole of a road-killed skunk and down it with beer than play this, but that's really not the case here.
It looks like
And
it's a
this might be
Castlevania clone.
the best Barbie game I've played.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a sentence I bet you never thought you'd hear me say.
I see.
It looks
The
like a
story loosely
Castlevania
follows
clone.
the same plot as the movie. You're playing as Corinne heading to Paris to follow in the
Corinne?
footsteps of her old man and become a musketeer,
Oh,
with the aid of
boy.
her cat Miette along the way.
You can't. You're a woman.
A cat which is
not
seriously
porn, I don't
gonna
care
have
what-
its furry ass sued. But
Oh,
right
God.
off the bat though,
Oh,
that's
it's Puss in
already
Boots.
what makes this one so unique, because aside from moving around the levels as Corinne, at any
As a
time you
cat.
can whip that pussy out and explore all the tiny nooks and crannies. That sounded way worse than I meant it to. Along the way, you'll also meet up with other musketeer hopefuls who all have their own unique skill sets. So for starters, Corinne has the ability to somehow grab onto ceilings with her bare hands and
You know, as
shuffle
you do.
across like she's on monkey bars. But then the first one to actually join the group is Vivica, who can use ribbons to swing across hooks sticking out of the walls. The second one is Renee, who has a crossbow, which is handy for hitting enemies and hard to reach switches. And then thirdly and finally is Aramina, a dancer who can jump higher than
Aramina.
the others. And you can swap between all 4 of these on the fly whenever they're needed.
I wonder what's over there.
Kind of reminds me of that old game on the Super Nintendo, The Lost Vikings. And
The hopes
visually,
and
the art
dreams
style
of
kinda
all the
gives me flashbacks
children.
to playing Monolith Productions' Claw, which is another really underrated 2D platformer.
I think you're a cat, man. I think that's a
There's
furry
even
world.
areas in the early levels you can't access until you've met all the characters, making this one of the few, if not the only Barbie game that has a replayability factor. Going back into those earlier levels to reach every possible area, to find all the hidden coins to then spend on new outfits for the girls, hats for the cat, that rhymes, and bonus artwork.
Thank you for your purchase.
And speaking of
Thank you for
artwork,
your
the art
purchase.
style for this game is really well done too.
Hey,
got all
you're
these
not getting the money
hand-drawn
back. There's
sprites
no
which are video
refunds. This is
animated.
a
You've got
physical
parallax
disc.
scrolling through the backgrounds in each area, giving the levels some sense of depth. And each location is visually varied. Plus, it's an actual game as well, and one that doesn't treat the player's intended audience
This does look
like
like it's the
complete
best game out of
idiots.
everything we've seen, though. It does.
Boss fights at the end of each chapter even have multiple phases and attack patterns.
Is that
I
a
mean,
paladin?
it is still
Like
kind of
you do?
impossible to be killed because
No,
you take more hits than
that's a
already giant,
Phaladin.
but some
Like
of the platforming
Porky.
stuff can be
Like
tricky,
Porky.
requiring decent reflexes and timing. The only thing that sucks here are the controls, which, to be honest, is more the fault of the Wii mode itself, rather
You
than
return
the
my
actual
shoes, I'll
controls
stop
in-game,
making fun of you.
Mostly due to how clunky that Nintendo
Give 'em
controller
back.
is. I mean, it really does feel like you're trying to play
They've
this
gone
thing
to
with
the
a
domes
TV
now.
remote, and not a good TV remote either. I'm talking one of those really thick, dumb ones from the
I
1990s.
wasn't gonna have to do this,
Overall, though,
Porky.
I ain't got
But if
nothing
you don't
against
give 'em
Barbie and the
back,
Three
I'm gonna
Musketeers.
take a shit in your pizza. And you'll never know.
Catastrophe. Wow.
Oh, got him.
WayForward understood the assignment here and made a game that caters to its
Oh,
key
Jesus.
audience perfectly. It sure is juxtaposed when compared to other Wii titles like Mad World.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But if this was the game
That's
you unwrapped
badass.
on your birthday
Yes,
or
it is.
Christmas
Mad World's a
morning,
fantastic
goddamn
game.
son, it could have been worse.
Thank you for your purchase.
And having
Thank
said
you
all
for your
that, I think
purchase.
it's probably best here to leave things on a high note.
I can't believe we're finally here.
I realise I'm leaving out a lot of other games I probably could have talked about, but truthfully, after these few games on the Wii, and what's an absurdly expensive title for the PSP and the Xbox 360,
Oh my god.
there's not really that much else to cover. It just seemed from that point on, Barbie games were limited to Android and iOS. And
Oh.
also kind of regressed a bit, going back to the more fashion-focused themes from the 1990s. It is interesting, though, to see how these games went from being simplistic, basic point-and-click experiences in the 90s, through to having much more creative concepts and actual gameplay in the mid to late 2000s, to then again just dumbing things down again in recent years. Either way, though,
Barbie
it's been an
color
interesting
creations.
time, man, going back and taking a look at a series which never quite found its footing in a particular theme or genre. And I still stand by what I said earlier, and that's that if anyone wants to take a stab at making a Barbie-themed survival horror game, I'll be the first one to play it.
Alright. There we go. I guess the credits, they don't matter. Let's watch Hitler generated AI. Hitler, here we go.
Actual banger.
Oh, that's why you said because it's become so numb. I'll keep an eye. Fucking Mussolini.
It starts playing I don't know why. You just need to light it out how you try.
Fucking Mussolini. Oh,
It's a.
Oh, I know. Time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the thing. 5, 6 nights it wings. So high as the grid. In those gals below. Watch it try to do right out the window. Trying to hold on.
I was saying lyrics to this yesterday too. I hate this fucking song.
It's a banger.
Well, this way it is. Not normally it's not.
I told you, absolute banger, dude.
Cut the vocal fry.
Oh, dude, you're just mad that he can hit the sick rips.
I'm just. It sounds so like. It sounds like the AI is strangling the voice.
Hey, Mussolini's got some pipes too, though. You can't say he doesn't. But I gotta say, Hitler has the better waifu.
Yeah, he does.
Like, Mussolini, not bad SS Monica. But I gotta say, the Wehrmacht Officer 02 is perfect. My two favorite things. Fascism and waifus. You can't beat it. Dude, AI has gone just way too fucking far on some of these.
Yes, it has. I agree.
You know the streamer Jay Schlatt?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
They got so many AIs of him, but they did one Gangnam Style, and you can't tell it's not him. It is like he hit every note is hit perfectly.
Yeah, they've gone far with AI to copy people's voice almost perfectly.
They've gone far.
It is.
But I do find it funny. Taylor Swift was like, "I'm gonna sue the internet because they made AI-generated porn of me." It's like, bitch, they've been getting fake art from celebrities for years. Oh, Ramen, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. 02 is Dinosaur Babe. Eat shit. Fight me 1v1 at your local Walmart. I'm there. I'm waiting.
Blaggy's song of choice. That's funny, Rowan. Anyway, Moving on.
Calling
Time
it
for some
trash.
After this. First, this. Back to the Dragon Tamer family. Hell
Put more
yeah.
power into it. Too slow. Keep it up. Don't waste your energy. Big swing like this.
I think he's fighting his older
wide
daughter.
open. Quick hits, and you won't get caught out.
Oh. Yeah, he is.
Good counterattack, Remy. Now, twist the arm into the back for submission. Can you believe it, honey? She broke my arm. I'm so proud of her.
Wait, oh no, it's not the older sister. It's the younger sister of the mom. I see. Oh, here, you get this week for curse. Have something cursed.
Darling.
Oh, I
Who
don't
said
like this.
Dinner was free. I thought you of all people would know that nothing in life is free, especially
It's
the
for
good
it's a preview for the next
And
video we're watching.
Mommy wants some
I swear
love.
that's why I put it.
So hit
Besides
the
being
side
cursed.
I don't
B.
believe you. I think
You
this
have
is
quite
cursed.
the bill to take care of for dinner, darling. And I expect it to be paid in full. Right here, right now.
Wow. All right.
Oh, you're gonna get snaked.
Stay back, stay back! I need an
Bell
immediate
roll.
evac of my position. I'm
Jeff, that you are full of shit. I am always waiting. I am always waiting. You never show up at the Tesco.
I swear to God, if one more Pokeball fondler tells me this game is bad because it's a knockoff, when they swallow the gravy of every bi-monthly Souls Clone release, I'm going to employ them. I'm
That-
gonna
I
give them
mean,
a nice
he's
5
got a
to
good
forever
point.
work schedule with free chow, free health insurance, and a relaxing work environment. Hell, I'll even give them free housing. I'll employ them
And
till
you
they
can even
love
catch
me down,
trainers
then one of
and
these days, when
sacrifice
they
them
get
to the
employee of the
gods.
month, I will chuck them into the mating pit.
Can you do that in Pokemon?
Here we go. Monkey with the gun.
Hell World for the two guys
Oh,
that
no.
don't know is the latest
They're
survival
rising
craft
up too
shit
early.
Already?
Yep.
Really? The second
There
to
is.
latest survival crafting game that plays like Conan Exiles fell into a vat of Pokemon, then dried off in human
Shrine
rights
of Bad
violations.
Taste?
But luckily, these aren't
Oh,
heroes. You
bro.
play as a man that showed up to an island,
Oh.
saw an unemployment issue, and
oof.
rose to the challenge of
Ooh.
gainfully
You
employing
would-
these savages.
If you
even
were in
to
a video
hand these
game, I'd
pals
grief
good
you.
jobs. This really is American Pokemon.
Yeah, I
Now,
showed
you're
him.
saying, this sounds great, Fleek. What's the problem? The problem is that there is no problem. And that's where Twitter comes in to
Yep.
manufacture one. These
Yep, sounds
people
about right.
are calling Pal World nothing but a Pokemon ripoff just with guns and forced labor, which is correct. But they're saying it like it's a bad thing. I've been looking forward to that idea for 2 years. Someone finally rose up and made these people a good
people.
Pokemon game for the first time in the franchise. And they don't say thank you. They call them creatively bankrupt. Creatively bankrupt. You can use a foxhound as a flamethrower. You can
Holy
hunt on the
hell.
back of a war crime Pikachu that carries a minigun. Pimp, you can breed pals, take their offspring, shove them into a fucking ninja blender, and turn them into a protein shake that boosts the parents' stats. I know you're angry right now, guys, but come on! I'd say they're at least creatively living paycheck to paycheck. The second thing we'll address is allegations of plagiarism. Many people in Twitter world think that Power World plagiarized Pokemon's designs. They have piles
Oh my
of evidence,
God.
over 100
The
comparisons
garbage
between
design
Pals
they've
and
had for like the
Pokemon
last
that
20
blew this
fucking
case wide
years.
open and definitely
Hello, this
proved this.
Pokemon's
I
a
took
set of
look through it,
keys.
now
Isn't
I'm
that
no
crazy?
lawman, I'm no
Oh,
lawyer.
this
Right,
one's a
it's all-
chandelier.
Can't be right. No way the Pokeball fondlers are angry both games plagiarize nature. Not a chance.
Yes,
This
they
one
do.
looks like
They
it ripped
plagiarize
off
nature
a
all the
shit
time.
stopper. This one's close, but even closer is me and not giving a fuck. In fact, it's identical because I don't. This game is supposed to be a parody. I thought the squirrels in the Chinese factory was a dead giveaway. It's a parody where you can pick up a sheep and use it as a meat shield. A parody where you can attach waffle launchers onto Squirtle, my bad, then have him air out a village. A parody where you can kidnap the black market merchant, shove him into a cage at home, and then still use his shop from there. It's great. Is it immoral? Not
That's
if you don't know what that
badass.
means. Joke's on you, buddy. I'm getting off track,
Joke's
though.
on
The
you.
point is, call it a hunch, but I think if Nintendo could call this plagiarism, they would have by now. I saw him copyright Drone Strike, an Italian guy, the other day because he looked too much like Mario. These people are very litigious. Now, the third thing that has
They
the
are
internet
very
all stirred
litigious.
up is that they've convinced themselves Pal World is using AI. For what, you ask? Oh, you don't know? Yeah, no, I was really hoping you knew because I have no goddamn clue. I don't even think that the AI uses AI. I catch these motherfuckers staring into the abyss. Like I just walked in on someone's grandfather during a PTSD episode. If you find out, though, let me know because I keep looking for a droplet of proof and all I have is this. The CEO likes AI. And they made an AI art guessing game in the past. Now, if you think that's enough rock-solid proof to argue about how Palworld warships
doesn't
Satan
sound bad
will
at all,
bring on the
actually.
grade of Ragnarok for 7 days straight instead of booting up the game and enslaving some pals with the bros, I'll include a link to Twitter below.
Hell yeah,
Anyways,
slavery's
then as
badass.
the next pebble in this shitstorm, Asmonbold stirred the pot by saying, most gamers don't care how a game is made, they just care if the game is good. And he chased it, of course, with a
It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
And that completely lit the mental ward
It's just
up.
the way
What
it
a
is.
heinous opinion. They went feral on him because he was right. The only
Because he
real
was right.
1-to-1 ratio about Palworld is for every one day they bitch about it on Twitter, it sells another 1 million copies. But it was this next controversy that really lit Twitter up. I'm saying this incendiary. Think of this like thermite burning through metal. That's how much it lit them up. Burning through. When the gunner glitches out and doesn't deploy right, he goes full Jimmy Kimmel Carl Malone, full Robert Downey Tropic Thunder. I couldn't even believe myself when I saw it. I remember I said, I can't believe it. That's what I said. I remember it. Because I said it. I'm lying. There was no outrage on this one. This is real. More real than 90% of the shit that I had to read for this video, but I kept this one to myself. This is for my personal collection right here. What unfortunately is real is this Eurogamer review. Eurogamer is
It's real. Oh no.
It is real. Oh boy.
designed to be sold rather than played. Saying it's less that it's derivative, but that it's so shameless about it. You'll feel like a mark.
I feel like a
You'd
mark.
be right. Ah, God, hell. I had the wrong visual on the screen the entire time. God, why didn't you fucking tell me? Here's the Palworld review visual. I'm such a goof. Sorry, it's very late and I'm putting all this together. It was an honest mistake. Speaking of honest mistakes, I'm sure this pal not working was one, but unfortunately, that's gonna have to be his last.
No.
Kill them.
Now, as far as my take on this goes, I don't give a fuck how this game was made. I just shelled out the desert with a giant grenade launcher wielding poke slip. Pal, and tomorrow, if there's some big reveal that AI was used, I still wouldn't give a damn, because I could still level a village with a grenade launcher wielding slit pal. And that is awesome. It's pure gameplay, it's quite addictive, and it's worth $27. 4 out of 5. Now, if you excuse me, I must depart. I have a jiggle joint to run.
Wow.
Thanks to the flock of pimps for bankrolling this video, and another huge thanks to all the pimperers for funding our offshore, off-the-books, off-the-record labor services startup. I have been informed that the FBI is closing in.
Wow. Anyway, moving on.
Fucking hell.
Typical apex predator, that's what this says.
That new point guard's got potential.
Talking about sports, like sports
I think
apex
his
predator.
team's playing here.
Oh my god.
I love basketball. Tiger Woods was my favorite linebacker.
That's okay, she's hot.
Devin didn't send this
Oh!
hush money in time.
It is hush money in
so
time.
I'm telling his manager and his girlfriend that he got me.
Oh.
Wow.
You should have paid the money.
Here we go. Childhood tomboy friend.
All right, Mom, it's finished. Hold on, honey. I think you added a little too much of. Hey, boys, lunch is ready.
Oh no.
All right.
Added too much hot sauce.
I present you the Rayco Beef Bowl.
Oh.
Food.
Yep. I'll take a dozen.
Oh, salt. Oh, she added too much soy sauce.
You guys ready for round 2? I am stuffed. One bite's enough for me. Sorry, boys.
Added too much soy sauce. Anyway, now let's have some text. Space Station 14. Welcome to Black Pants Legion 14. Here we go.
Oh, is this Tex?
Yep, it's Tex.
Okay.
Black Pants Legion.
I like his fucking space station ones.
Yeah.
I mean, like the other one, like I don't mind the other ones, but it's just like this guy just consistent banger comedy the entire time.
Yeah, Tex is really fun. I'm glad Sweets introduced me to him. By introducing me, told me about the videos because they're really funny. Whee!
Oh, it's Christmas.
Christmas again. He released a lot of these during Christmas.
Well, well, well. Just another day on Space Station 14. Well, looks like I'm the only head here today, which means I'm in charge.
Oh no. God help us all.
Holy shit, that does mean I'm in charge.
No.
Well, time to take a... Attention, crew. This is the Quartermaster, Randolph P. Checkers, and I'd like to say that I'm the only head on this station. So, yeah. Guess what? We're doing nothing important, and Taco Tuesday is a go. Thank you. Oh, wait. Vincent Abernathy just showed up. I better hang this up before he shows up and tells me what to do. Hail Cargonia! Alright, we're just gonna walk around. It's gonna be fine. Dun dun dun. No one needs to know.
No one needs to know.
No one needs to know that I briefly took over things.
No one needs to know
There's
what I
my
did there.
ferret, which is, I guess replaces Paperwork the Sloth. Fuck that sloth. I never cared for him. He was probably my co-host in 800,000 episodes of Space Station 13, the sloth that ran around TG. But I have a ferret named Bandito now.
I have a ferret named Bandito.
Alright, let's go ahead and, oh shit. Alright, this really started out there. No misbehaving on my watch. Oh. We have a very serious person, I see. We'll see how long this lasts. What's this? I'm going to take my soft drink restock thing and put that in there. And then I'm going to just take this.
I'm
and
pretty
I'm
sure
sell
text
it.
helped
Because
help
if it
name
comes
the
here,
fucking
it's being
thing,
sold.
so
And then
it's
I'm probably
funny he
going to
always
tear
just
that
fucks
big
it up
ship
anyways.
for profit.
It's like, nah, fuck
All right,
it.
sending the shuttle off.
Best attitude to have.
Oh shit, we have all these
fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Son
Let
of a
burn.
bitch. I
That's right.
have fucked up already. Let's just move this. Looks like I'm running Cargonia solo, but this is a small station because this is actually BPL 14. We started a project for BPL 13, but we saw Space Station 14 as a code base and realized more people know C# than Beyond.
Oh,
and as
that
well,
helps.
this is 64. Well, this is 64-bit, whereas Beyond is stuck at 32. However, Beyond is a lot more mature in terms of what you can do with it, because people have been doing more for a long time. Oh my god, no power. That's not good. That's not good. Abernathy, power. That's not good at all.
And Porky, you got
I'm
a
the
pet.
hop, not the CE.
Bud.
Well,
In the arena.
all right.
Porky.
I could just go live on
Are
the
you
ship.
listening to
The
me?
ship has power.
No,
I
he's
could go
not.
live
He's
on the
too
ship and
busy.
do whatever.
Maybe he's on
Oh
the
no.
toilet.
Vincent Abernathy
Adam.
says, "Don't worry, crew. I took a weekend online
Oh, there we
course on
go. You got
power
it now.
management." That's
You're
not-
welcome, Porky.
That's not so good. I'm gonna take the multi-tool. That's not good. All right. So now we have a space station in the dark, which is not so great.
No,
No
I would
worries.
imagine is that great.
It's
I would
just
imagine it
pitch
sucks.
black in space.
That's fine.
You know what? I'm
Wait,
gonna go
nothing
wire
bad
the
happens when it's
solars.
pitch black in space.
I do not
Nope,
trust
never.
Abernathy with that engine.
Nothing at
Last
all.
time we worked together, and
Nothing at
for
all.
Marines,
Nothing
for
at
instance,
all.
Mr. Abernathy melted all of us. How many clunks is bad again? That's yeah. All right, let me get a spacesuit. Rare to get a
spacesuit.
oxygen tank. Oh, it's not powered. That needs to
no.
be powered.
Oh
Are
no.
you fucking kidding me?
Oh no.
All right, that's not good. Has to be powered. Why does the dispenser need to be powered? I just need a little bit of, you know what? I'll just use whatever I can find. I will go find another source of oxygen. Things you say in Space Station 13. All right.
I'll find
there's the
another source of
solars.
oxygen. Things you just
Solars
say in
aren't
Space
that
Station
hard
13.
to wire. Unless you're an idiot. Then they're very, very hard to wire. And I am an idiot. So I'm going to pick this up and make sure the oxygen is actually on. You'll hear the hiss of oxygen. And then we're just going
The
to
hiss of
go
that's not a
ahead
good
and
sign.
lay some cable. Giggity. Why is it saying gasp? Why? It said gasp there for a second.
Oh no, gasp.
I should have more than enough oxygen. Oh, the mouse. The mouse ran out of oxygen.
Oh,
It
the
was
mouse.
in my backpack. I was freaking
There's a
me
mouse
out.
in his backpack that ran out of oxygen. Wow.
Now, wiring is a little bit more difficult, certainly in Space Station 13, but this is not Space Station 13. Wiring in Space Station 13 is the devil.
The devil.
Because
the devil.
everything has to be perfect.
Why not?
All right, let's see. We can get some... Oh, yeah. The
Thank
mouse.
you.
One moment. Burial at sea. Mouse.
Burial at sea.
Shuck. All right,
Just
there.
shucked it.
Handled. The mouse is gone. Hello. I'm doing space things.
I'm just doing space
Do not
things.
worry.
Don't mind me.
I am qualified
Yes.
to do space.
I'm
All right,
qualified to do
I'm
space.
very qualified. I'm gonna close
Well, I
the door
mean, he is
behind me in
qualified
case
to
he decides
space.
I'm not.
So clearly,
You can trust security
qualified
to a
space.
point. That point is usually to the airlock. What's going on? Just walking around? Want to loot an abandoned ship?
Want to loot an abandoned ship,
Pretty
bruh?
cool. Might be some
Oh yeah, I
neat
do.
stuff in there.
Could be good stuff in there.
Huh. It has no power. Well, time to break in. They made the goddamn mistake of parking here. So, now it's ours. Yep, we both just take out crowbars and open those fucking doors. Engine's running. I wonder why there's no power. May not be wired.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Might not
main
be
breaker
wired.
good, battery power good, 0% charge. SMES read 0. Huh. Well, let's explore. Let's see. There's a safe. Oh, fuck.
But is it
Fuck
safe,
yeah,
though,
a
in that
gun.
safe?
That's a sweet
Could
ass
be.
gun. I'm taking it. What do we got here? A python? Fuck yeah. Security didn't see me. They don't need to know I pocketed a magnum. That's uranium. I'm having that. That's worth money. Well, we got a ship. Or a ship to tear apart, at least. But, I mean, this is an interesting thing to happen upon. Where do you want me to leave this stuff? Take it to cargo. That's what we'll need. Go to the hop and get all access. We got none.
You got none.
Oh, we got a crazy guy. What up?
Postal dude, do we playing Space Station 13? That's how Tech sounds. Yeah, he sounds like the
Want to
postal
help us
dude.
tear shit apart? Sure.
Just a little bit.
Go to the
That's,
hop and
John St.
get
John, who
all
voices him after
access.
the first
Tell
game, I
him
think.
you're part of
Those are the people that voice him too that
shipbreaking
have
crew.
a voice that's very similar as
All right,
well.
what do we got to get rid of? Oh yeah, the uranium.
Uranium.
Don't just keep uranium in your pockets, boys and girls. It's not good for you. Hello.
But it keeps me nice and warm.
What's going
I bet
on?
it does.
Want some guns?
Want some guns?
I found them. Not
That,
yet.
that's the most
Oh.
fed shit I've ever heard in my life.
Hey, want some
No,
Hey,
I
you
don't
want
know.
some guns?
Oh.
I don't know.
I mean, I got
Just
gas.
start
The
handing
mom
them
said not
out.
to take candy, but
That's for
nothing
dating.
about
I
guns.
just got them. I mean,
You already
know,
have 10 kidneys. Do you
find
really need
stuff.
one more?
stuff that makes
I mean,
you go.
you know what? Yeah, I'll
Addicted.
take an extra kidney, Gene. You
Here.
sold me.
Yes, of course.
Have that one. Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Oh.
Ain't that cool? Pretty sweet. I'm going to go get a
I could have a
drink
Blade
now.
Runner kidney. I'll take 3.
Don't arrest
No,
me.
the Blade Runner gun.
All right. See? Yeah. I feel like a real detective now.
I'm
Me
kind of
too.
in it for the kidneys.
Okay.
Well, I'm
So,
sorry. No Blade Runner
You
kidneys.
can keep whatever you can carry, but start stealing everything in this thing,
Did you want? Did
including
someone say they wanted
all
some
the
guns?
containers,
Oh, poor kid.
I do
everything
like
you
guns.
can find, and take it to cargo.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right
Please and
back.
Thank
Okay.
you. Hi.
No, clown.
What's up?
Boom, boom, boom. Oh God, clown, no. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom.
I've been summoned from the pits of hell to bring funny times. Oh, okay. He can have the guitar then. Look. An alien thing. Here we go. I don't know what this is. This could be a thing. This could be a thing. No anomaly currently scanned. Well, I'm taking the scanner. I don't know what it does. Let's see if it likes soda. It might. Huh. Doesn't like soda. Is it growing? I don't know. I ain't a science guy.
Hello,
Does it
everyone.
feel
It's
pain?
me, Gene's cousin Carl.
Good
I've
question.
stolen Weeb's mic.
Wow.
I hear no screams.
I
What
thought-
about love?
I
He
thought-
called me a dork online, so I had to steal his shit.
Oh, wow.
Fuck love. I'ma go get
You
a
are.
checkup. I feel fine. I've noticed my health thing
Why would
changed
you
a
say
little
this
bit.
about me?
My fibromyalgia.
Surely not something that happened as a result
I'm
of me
telling
talking
Aunt
about it.
Shaquisha on you.
Or smoking a Cuban cigar.
You're
Okay,
going to
I
be in the
collect my
timeout
as a
corner.
policy.
Timeout zone.
Now, let's go to medical. I'm gonna start stealing things to pay for stuff. Because that's what we... Why is there so
Yeah,
much blood?
maybe I do want to lick a Blade Runner's kidney. What do you... Well, what about it? It's kind of my jam.
Hey,
I love kidneys.
I need
Yeah.
medicine. I hear banging. I think they're still breaking that.
Like on a,
thing.
you know,
Poison.
primordial level.
Yep.
Primordial kidneys.
Seems like. Come on. I need some anti-poison.
Who doesn't love some
Gotta
anti-poison?
come up with a good tip for the doctor. Space
Who
Oath.
doesn't
There you
just
go.
love that anti-poison?
Trying to stick a needle in me.
It's great. I
Know what
love
I'm gonna do?
anti-poison.
I'm gonna
Everybody
give 'em
loves
a
anti-poison.
Sweet $5. Yes. Oh, wow, I'm puking. There. For your trouble.
For your trouble.
Nah. Yes. The clown hop wants a chainsaw for enhanced interrogation. Okay. That's a bit nuts. Let's see what we got in the inventory. Alright, what do we got? Chainsaw.
Chainsaw.
Nope, we don't have any of that.
Oh, someone added.
Hydroponics. Uh-huh.
Oh, arena.
There's an equipment crate.
Arena
Yeah.
and arena. I did it.
Looks
And
like
cookies.
closest I can get is general gardening stuff. So, tell the clown to go, and I quote,
Porky is street talk for
fuck
Donut
himself. End quote. Okay.
Cop. That's funny.
Parts are en route.
En route.
No worries. Question. What?
Question everything.
May I use this black hole to access hell? Yes. Having a disco day? We need more sec officers. Yes. Yes, we do. But don't worry. You have a gun, and they likely don't. Can you get monkeys? I like the way you think. Monkeys or big-ass gorillas? I can get both.
I can get
gorillas.
Get both then.
Can do.
Opt for both.
Yep. Alright. Detective, your backup is, on the way. Alright, I'm just gonna order some more gorillas, right? We're gonna get like 3 more. Just open a crate full of gorillas on a space station. See what fucking happens. Just gotta make sure that the backup is ready. Like he wants it. Right? That's what he wants. Oh shit. Alright. No. How do I close? Yeah. Alright, he got back in there, thank God.
Wow.
I was gonna fucking fuck with that thing. I'm just gonna leave those in front of cargo and let people do whatever.
Do whatever with them.
It'd be fun as
Let
just
God
to have a
sort 'em
raptor
out.
cage. Like, what's in there?
That's usually the
I
best
don't know.
policy, in my
Clever
opinion.
girl, maybe. Yes. You're a gentleman, your, esteemed colleagues. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
How many backpacks do you think we need? Probably 6. See, they seem friendly. They seem very friendly. Just, you know, security needs some backup. Not terribly worried. But hey, if they go bonkers, we'll call it Dead Bay and not Med Bay. Simple as.
Simple as.
They're very well trained. Yeah. They're on
I don't
downers,
think they're
and
well
as soon as they
trained.
wear
I
off,
think
we're
you
all
just
gonna
bought them
die,
on
you know.
eBay.
All right. Now we move the rest of these crates back. I'm gonna leave the ape alone. It seems to not know what
Give
it
the ape
wants,
a gun.
so I'm gonna send the shuttle out.
Get monkey gun.
And just hope.
Yeah, monkey need
God.
gun.
Get monkey gun.
Okay, go explore space.
Go explore space. It's fun out there. It's
Ape
space.
stronger together.
I'm not gonna fuck with it.
I can fuck with it.
And stronger with gun.
And yeah, most of this is just, I believe, credits at the end. Let's see.
Good God.
Yeah, Tex has a lot of people who support him. So yeah, that was all just credits at the end. There, it's like about 10 minutes of credits. So you know that's fun.
That's insane.
Anyway, moving on. It's
Oh,
Blade
it's the
Runner.
kidney one.
Yep.
My face when Makima GF.
Ryan Gosling.
Forgive me, Makima-sama. Please, don't step on my again.
My balls.
My
God.
face when no Makima GF. God, I miss her so god much. What is this emptiness that I'm feeling right now?
Oh Lord.
You'll never get it back.
I wish someone would step on my
I wish someone would step on my balls.
Unfortunate.
My name is Minokichi. I'm 39 years old. I like dogs. My favorite poem is After Killing a Spider by Mitsuo Aida. My hobbies include reading
Sound like he's
manga,
Kiryu.
watching anime, and getting drinks at a local Muscle Girl bar. I
Muscle
work
Girl
for
bar?
a very esteemed and well-known organization, and I'm being haunted.
Haunted, oh
I
boy.
was sent
A man
to
of culture.
Nagasaki by my boss to
Visit a debtor.
a debtor. Apparently, someone owed the boss a lot of favors.
Oh boy.
And I was dispatched to collect what was due with interest. However, while on the job, I ran into some complications.
There it is.
What happened in that house?
Ghost girl GF.
I can't even
Ghost
begin
woman.
to describe.
Based.
I managed to escape, and
But you're still
I
haunted,
carried all
though.
the way back to Tokyo.
Don't care.
Away
Yep.
from that accursed and
Didn't
godforsaken
tell.
place.
Ghost pussy.
However,
Gussy.
what will
Gussy.
be
We both
That's
thought it.
right. Yeah. I didn't know you were a man of
Oh,
culture,
God.
Gene.
Rolling down the stairs!
Save me, Karen! She's so spooky! I'm being spooked to death!
I'm being spooked to death.
the aberration, that dark specter.
Follow me home.
What?
Follow me all the
Look
way.
how
Okay.
look at his dull
Apparently,
face.
No one else
Why
can
can't
see
it be me?
It wants them to.
Go to cursed places in
I'm,
Japan more.
Not entirely sure what it
I
wants to
did.
be.
More cursed.
Is it just me, or does Minokichi seems more reliable these days? Yeah. He
Yeah.
got a promotion
Oh,
from
does
the
he work for
boss.
the Yakuza? What the fuck are those
He
guys?
probably found himself a girl. A good woman will do that to you.
Good woman will do that to you. Oh.
It's a
no,
life-changing
no.
experience.
Oh, sweet thing. Don't walk on the other computer.
If you didn't know any better, I would say I was married.
That's
And
really
these things are fine the way
What
they
the
are.
fucking eye.
Domain expansion.
Yes, hell yeah, here we go.
Immaculate crack rock. Immaculate crack rock. Domain
Immaculate crack
expansion.
rock.
Homeless fist.
Homeless
Hey,
fist.
hey, disciples. Seth here. Let me tell you about a game that's transfixed and captivated me for the past many days. The Matchless Kung Fu is an immersive sim that shows what life would be like if every man, woman, and child was trained in the martial arts. That is to say, life would not last very long. This game takes place in the genre of wuxia. This is Chinese sword fantasy fiction, but a little more grounded than some I've covered in the past. The game works like this. You play a world simulation where everyone has their own desires and motivation, which you expand by putting down plots of land. These are pre-made areas containing a challenge. If you finish an objective, you can place more land, and you keep going until, inevitably, a Shaolin master breaks your spine. You're not expected to win from the first or second try. The actions you took in a past life will influence the next through karma, and you're not expected to understand any of this. That's why I don't have to explain to you why I began my journey drop-kicking roosters and fighting with a family dog. Nor do I have to explain to you this incredibly elaborate system of rock, paper, scissors that is combat, because the tutorial went over my head, but I've retained the knowledge non-verbally. And finally, despite being, at the time of this review, a complete demigod with perfectly harmonized meridians, I can confidently tell you, I have no idea what's going on. For being the product of RNG, my first Chinaman turned out looking okay. My very first quest was to beat the shit out of wine-stealing monkeys, only to find out animals can be tamed. Abilities vary between animals, but for the monkey, this was begging. The monkey can beg for money, which infuriates the local beggar, as I'm taking away from his local business. In this game, beggar is a profession, and just like doctors operate clinics, beggars operate churches. I was driven away and had to beg downhill
I hate the
instead.
Baking Monkeys Guild.
I got a quest to deal with some bandits. No problem, I thought, until I saw they were two women who could kill just by breathing on me. Luckily, my objective wasn't to defeat them, just burn down their camp. This was very easy because they took several naps while I was doing so, only stopping when I burnt down their mattress. So they left and started harassing the locals. As it turns out, one of the bandits had the charitable perk, which meant that she would rob the local store, beat up the owner, and donate all her savings directly to my monkey. I made a lot of money from the bandit monkey pipeline, and I found the constant brawls to be very entertaining, until it wasn't, and the store owner was dead on the floor. I realized I had to do something, or I was going to lose a lot more NPCs. I lured the two bandits into a non-lethal sparring competition, broke their strength, quickly rested, and jumped them again before they could recover. This bumped up my reputation, and I was offered a selection of different schools of martial arts. Naturally, I chose to join the drunken sect. Not only did I get a bunch of skills that are simple enough that even I can reliably combo, I also got informed that I had a secret admirer. Who, may I ask? Well, the person telling me. And just like that, I had a significant other. She sleeps on the floor. Sorry, honey, the bed is reserved for me and the monkey. As we lay together and pick lights out of each other's hair, our bond strengthens. Following cultivation tropes, you can attend auctions to bid on rare, inexpensive items. Every time someone makes a bid for an item or increases their bid, the other guests become more jealous. If you let this play out in the background in its entirety, everyone who went to the auction is now seething with hatred and will try to kill every other attendee. In this game,
don't kill my monkey!
You get stronger by connecting shapes in the right order.
I love
to activate
him!
Inner kung fu.
Whoops. Sorry about that. I fucked up.
Domain expansion. Immaculate
Starting the video over again. It didn't for us.
For
I moved the actual fucking thing 1 second. It didn't start over for us. It did for chat for a moment. Sorry guys. Let's see.
Forcibly drink
Sucks
someone
to
under
suck,
the table,
dorks.
and when they're passed out, I could
fault.
kidnap
I mean,
their
oh
body
no!
and rob them blind,
How
which
could
is
this
exactly
happen?
what I did for the next hour, until everyone was running around in sub-zero temperatures in boxer shorts. Putting down
Boxer
enough normal
shorts.
plots lets you place special plots, such as towns. Soon as I entered, two men started bickering because one had slept with the other's wife. I
Oh my
intervened
God.
against infidelity, but a little too strongly, because he was now dead. I sat down at the bar to continue my drunken robbery when the same woman who committed adultery tried to seduce me. Honoring my beloved, I rejected her advances. So she threatened to kill me if I said no. And she did, because she's got 12k vigor. So I reloaded and tried to beg for forgiveness. Instead, she let me off lightly by breaking my legs. The irony of the situation is that she owned the town clinic and would help treat my crippling disability the next day. I lived a good life. I trained hard. And despite that, I am surrounded by sociopaths that could kill me on a whim. I hate this place. I'm gonna go parkour across water. Going far north in the map is how you get captured and imprisoned. This is not a bad thing. This is how you unlock your second and third character slots. As said before, you're not meant to win on the first try. Or rather, you're not the main character. The
You're not the
protagonist
main
of this
character
story
at all.
is your ancestor. ancestors.
You're not that guy, guy.
Briefing on power levels. Everything is about vigor, which is how much punishment you can take. No matter how good you are at finessing the combat and exploiting meridians, your starting character's vigor will cap off at around 2k. So for reference,
how about any blood meridians?
Peak, you are half as strong as a giant toad. How do we remedy this? Genetics. Much like
I saw Hitler. I saw one.
Pond than a gene pool. Your choice of partner has consequences on your child's pedigree. You need to choose the right Chinaman or China woman to chintegrate into your lineage. If you're the offspring of a sect leader, you're born with 2k extra vigor. That's nice, but we need to go even harder. There are many myths, many legends. In high school, we used to nipple cripple each other. If you're not familiar, that's where you grab both nipples and twist painfully, usually in the changing room when they're most vulnerable, until one of our friends told us that's how a kid got nipple cancer, because he got nipple crippled too often and it became a tumor. We knew the story was bullshit, but we were scared, and we never did it again. Similarly, I heard tales of people hitting 30k vigor, and I think I know how. Some call it intuition. I call it reading a guide on Steam. Karma are objectives you complete during life that allow you to take different blessings in the next. Our objective, Pristine Birthright, requires the following: 30 lovers, 30 grudges, or a million gold. Gold is out of question, so I went with 30 grudges instead. For reference, the worst thing you can do to someone is destroying their kung fu. Understandably, beating someone so hard they forget how to move creates a lot of animosity. At first, I was non-lethal and just battled people, stole their kung fu, and locked them in a cage. This got problematic very quickly. I would imprison someone's mother, so their daughter would show up and start breaking the cage from outside, trying to rescue them. So I had to knock her out, put her in another cage, only to see the mother try to break out from inside to rescue her daughter. Everyone started bonding over their shared predicament, became friends, and tried to make a prison break. Eventually, it was too much, so I had to start taking heads. All I wanted was 30 enemies, but it seems now I'm going to need 30 body bags. This was a problem because I couldn't keep track of the people I killed and their relations to one another. I accidentally killed off someone's parent, only to find out their daughter had 12k vigor and was chasing me across the land. I died several times and had to reload. The only way I was going to survive was by friendship, and paying the master of my sect 1,000 gold to beat the shit out of her. As I took her head, I realized, why do I even need this karma quest when I have a small army that can finish the entire game? There are no words to describe the experience of combat when your fights are stacked 20 against 1, except incredibly fair. I thought I was invincible, but I flew too close to the sun. You see, slowly, over time, my army kept taking internal injuries, but their AI wouldn't let them go to a clinic for treatment, and I didn't pay attention. Suddenly, some of them died, which caused their friends to blame me for their death, which forced me to fight them. But then, they died, and my other companions attacked me. My failure cascade was out of control, and I died at the hands of my own men. I thought I was girl boss of this empire, but in truth, it was nothing but the boss baby. I looked back on the footage to figure out exactly where it all went wrong, and surprisingly, it wasn't inflicted injuries. No, what happened was I ate shit to see what happens, and I saw the animation, and I thought it was really funny. However, my dysentery gave me a stack of poison gas, which spreads from close contact. My army was exclusively in close contact, so the cause of death of everyone, and myself included, was my own excrement, but it turned out I made enough enemies in this life that I finished my karma quest. Pristine Birthright gives you the single biggest power spike in the game, if you can actually use it. If I could figure it out, I'm sure you can too. In case you do this yourself, I found out I didn't actually need grudges, and I could have just marked 30 people as enemies. Turns out, force-feeding people shit, gouging out their eyes, and repeatedly breaking their legs was completely unnecessary and says a lot more about myself. My unscrupulous actions would come to haunt me for my third character, as I start with ill fate, which means I'm more likely to be struck by lightning. I try to cheese the system by praying for rain and speedrunning life. Unfortunately, lightning only cooks you, so I tried dying to bandits. They refused to kill me as well. Instead, they put me in a cage and went to sleep. Occasionally, they would wake up and poison me before going back to sleep. This also failed to kill me. Frustrated, I ran to the Forbidden Palace, which is this game's version of a government. This is staffed by people who are referred to as an incomplete person, who are missing their precious treasure. This is a very Chinese way of saying they lost their penis. I could go on to explain how dynasties thought this would prevent nobles and public officials from seizing power because they couldn't produce children. but I digress. Anyway,
In the
I set
water
fire
you
to the
go.
palace, and I was promptly executed. And it was all for nothing because my negative karma was still there. Also, I
Good
found
is
out
evil.
groin kick has a chance to permanently crush your balls. Do with this information as you
Sounds
will.
wonderful.
So I, made my
I mean,
fourth
no.
and final character. Supreme
Terrible.
Character. Excellent karma. And you know what he does with it? Nothing. Because I
Chinese
unlocked
RuneScape.
Beast Tongue and can now tame infinite
It
monkeys.
kinda is
Now
like
I
Chinese
have complete
RuneScape.
monopoly on
Infinite
the
monkey?
gaming sector.
Yes.
This game is
What the
undeniable.
hell's going on with the
Early
dragon?
access. The translations can range from English to
English.
absolutely esoteric, but the gameplay is so intuitive that I never felt like I was missing out. There is one exception to this.
Uh-oh.
It's called verbal duels,
Verbal
and they're
duels.
completely insane. This is the equivalent of an online debate, where the objective is to mentally break your opponent. Instead of vigor, you use
Yeah, I do
spirit,
that all the
and
time with
depleting
people.
someone's
Oh, wait.
spirit will put them in hysteria, and hysteria can lead to death. This game lets you troll someone to death. It's really hard to say which single event in this sandbox
He's riding a
broke me.
chicken.
Was it the
He was
time
riding
I
a
went to
chicken
the
and he
clinic
fell
for a
and the chicken
broken
was
leg,
fine.
only for the doctor to forcibly throw me outside because it was 1 minute past his bedtime? Or was it my wife screaming at me for having an affair, as I have no option to explain to her that I have no relation to this giant black serpent, and it only holds feelings of intimacy for me because I implanted it with a love parasite? Since writing these lines, my world got flooded.
What
I
the
tried
fuck?
to swim north and got eaten by a great white shark. This came out of nowhere, so it scared the shit out of me. This was the worst jump scare I've ever had. I got crinkles in my diaper and was very afraid. So I'm giving this game a 0 out of 10. In all seriousness, if you're willing to put up with a lot of bad translation and want a sandbox where you can live out your power fantasy of killing everyone with your bare hands, then I thoroughly recommend it. For the price they're asking, I definitely got my money's worth. It's pleasant, it's charming, and there's a lot to explore, but I haven't had the time to cover. As always, more
my
content
God, what
to
the
come,
hell
so
is
stay
that?
tuned. This video didn't take that long. Many of my videos take very long, and even longer as time went by. Decision paralysis corrodes every content creator. However, my autism has been cured. Thank you, Lexapro, and most of
Thank
all,
you,
thank you,
Lexapro.
Allah, for your glorious blessings each day. I have a couple
It's
ads
like
this
Goku
year.
with
I got
Allah.
bills to pay, but I hope to make up for it with a garbage quality you know and expect. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild
Yes, of
generously
course.
funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful.
One of those
Have a good
monkeys.
one.
All right, Weeb. Time for a meme.
Enough about women's rights!
Yes.
It's time to talk about women's rights!
Yes.
Confess your sins and receive the Emperor's judgment!
I think nerdlings are kind of cute.
Heresy! I
Heresy.
sentence you to death!
I have 6 toes on my left foot.
Mutation! I sentence you to death!
I troll newsphere discussions about female space marines with intentionally poor arguments, thus enraging both sides.
That's
That's
not
not
a
a
sin,
sin.
sister!
Wait,
It's not.
No, but it is extremely weird and probably not a very good use of
Here we
your
go.
time. I sentence you to
To
touch
touch
grass!
grass.
Oh.
Oh.
You know, this is quite refreshing.
Beautiful. Speaking of Warhammer, here's this too. Tsundere Dark Eldar.
Don't get the wrong idea, pervert. It's not like I like you or anything. I
Wow.
just enslaved you so I could torture you and feed on your psychic residue of suffering.
Yeah, well, I don't like you either. You're just a heretic. The God Emperor cares about me way
Look
more
at
than you
the
ever
face.
could.
How could you say that?
Why are you so You kids should just get married.
You kids should just get married. That was a rogue trader. Session. Here we go. Into the wall, Weeb. Here we go. Last video for tonight,
I don't-
everybody.
The wall is shaped for me!
You are the traitor.
You're a traitor.
Here we go. Thank you for using this. That's Vendu. Oh, what the fuck?
Coffins in space.
Coffins. High speed? Like it's a fucking missile? Perfect set for a death trap.
I don't like that face. Something about it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh good, a summoning circle. I'm sure nothing evil will come out of that.
Oh, that's perfectly normal. We have those at home. I just don't question it, Gene. It's better for your mental health. No way, an altar. I don't think you want to pray on that altar, Pimp. I don't think that's...
It's fine. Invite someone. The face.
It's untrustworthy.
Launch pad. Oh, shit. Oh, there we go. You pray on the altar. It's fine. Got him. You have. Zam. You have been chosen to die.
Wiggity swooty.
Nice.
He's getting your booty.
Oh, woo! Holy hell. Oh my god. Portal to another realm. Gods are happy. I can't believe he turned into a gun. And they demand more. Oh no. God chose you to meet the wall.
To the wall with him.
Dead. Oh my god, look at it all. Spaceman!
There's just a lot of shit going on over there.
Another one. Another one. The gods chose you. This is not a free gun. No. The runes have claimed another spaceman. Whee! Spin!
Oh, welcome to hell. You know that?
Welcome to hell.
That's always reassuring to hear.
Yeah, oh, I do like hell. Wow, that guy. Oh, I do like hell. I don't think you're gonna after this spin, buddy. Spin! It's too late. You never know what he wanted to say.
It just works.
It just
Thanks,
works.
Todd. Oh my god, spin! You love to see it. I just don't know why he wants to spin everyone. That's not nice.
Well, they're getting spun. There may not be no rhyme or reason to it, but spunning must be happening. Spunning in. No salvation. Please don't. Can't die. Please don't. Where's the gun? Oh, no, there's no gun, buddy. It's
Put the
correct.
gun down. Put the gun down.
Is there a gun? The honk mother. River never ends. Ride never ends. Oh. Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. The ride never ends. Spin!
Spin!
Oh my god, he blew up.
Say, oh yeah, to make sure you type out the Good.
That dude was a bomb. Literally. The best. Alright. With that, we now come to the end. Fans of fiction. I'd like to thank everyone who showed up. I'd like to thank everyone who came. Weeb, always a pleasure to be streaming with you, my brother.
It was all nice until you started spinning me through the mic.
Well, you had to spin. The ride never ends. The honk mother must be pleased. Alright, everybody. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye.